The girl suddenly realized her robot boyfriend actually breathed and had heartbeat. She began to creep in, but the man explained he was the most advanced robot, almost same as a real human. So the girl believed him again. The girl wants to go out first. Unexpectedly, after they went out, the young wealthy lady found him once more. The man claimed she had mistaken him for someone else, but the young lady refused to believe it. The girl had no choice but to tell her this was her husband, not the CEO she was looking for. However, the young lady said she was about to enter a marriage alliance with the CEO and could not possibly be wrong. Learning her crush was already engaged, the girl felt dejected, but the man said he didn't know the lady at all, and that one should decide their own marriage. The young lady pointed out that he could afford clothes worth $3 million, he must be the CEO. Faced with the girl's doubt, he explained he had used code to modify the numbers in his bank card. The young lady immediately dialed the CEO's number, want to prove that he is the CEO. But to her surprise, the man's phone didn't ring. She couldn't believe there were two people who looked so identical. The girl and the man returned home, and she introduced him to her grandmother as her husband. The grandmother was shocked, thinking the girl's marriage had happened too suddenly. But when she saw the girl's marriage certificate, she was happy that the girl had found someone to take care of her, and she was very satisfied with the man. So she planned to call and cancel the blind date she had arranged for the girl. Just then, the doorbell rang. Turned out the grandmother had earlier invited a neighbor's nephew to go on a blind date with the girl. But since the girl was now married, the grandmother intended to call off the date. However, the neighbor was upset and insisted they compensate him with a sum of money, and even demanded the girl's grandmother marry him. The girl angrily stopped him, pointing out his nephew was a second marriage with a child, and she would never agree to the blind date. The neighbor retorted that his nephew was a senior executive at a top group, and it was the girl's good fortune that he was willing to go on a blind date with a leftover woman. At this, the man said he worked at the same group. The girl worried he would be exposed for lying. The neighbor asked what his job was, and the man replied, "I oversee everything." The neighbor mocked him, saying he was just a janitor who did odd jobs. Right then, the neighbor's nephew walked in. The girl wanted to ask them to leave, but unexpectedly, when he saw the man beside the girl, he was shocked. The man told him that the girl had already married him, which made him find it even more unbelievable.